Hey guys, welcome back, it's Muffin, and today I want to teach y'all how to play a Draconic build. It took a long time to get this video out. I've been in bed, actually, from the Moderna 2-shot, and it just messed me up for a while. I came back and they had a new patch, and suddenly we're getting 2 Radiant items. And I normally don't play Draconic, but I wanted to show you through the mentality and kind of the idea of how to freestyle and approach playing maybe a comp that you don't know and you haven't played before, and how to still try and pull a team together and maybe pull a win. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's go. So we start off the game grabbing a Poppy with a BS sword on it. I really like starting off with a sword or a bow. They tend to be able to navigate into a lot of different things. You know, maybe making a death blade, maybe a bloodthirster. Akshan's pretty good in the meta, and both of those are good on Akshan. So, and early on, we're managed to get an Ashe and an Udyr. Actually, when I instantly decide that we're doing Draconic, because I've also got a set. And so the idea behind Draconic is kind of to spam it, maybe lose streak for a while. I mean, if you can be strong, then you want to be strong, but to just get a lot of money early on, because you're basically getting an extra at least 1 currency every turn. So we have a set, we have an Udyr, and we have an Ashe. Ashe is also going to be helpful because we are going to move kind of towards playing Aphelios. It used to be one of my main carries. And so getting a ranger build going with our Aphelios is easily set up with an Ashe. All right, 2-star set. And because set is 2-star earlier on, I'm thinking that we're going to start putting our items on set. On set, like a movie. We lose our first combat because Udyr's not exactly a tank, especially a 1-star, and Set isn't a powerhouse enough yet. So we're still kind of weak, but because of that first player combat, we do get our first Draconic egg, and that's going to become either free units or free money for us soon. Thinking we want to win streak here, we've got a lot of money on the board for an early game between a 2-star Set and a 2-star Olaf. So I bust all our items onto Set, baking a Runon's Hurricane and leaving the sword, trying to set up just a strong front line as well as a carry that's going to do a lot of damage in Set. All right, 2-star Udyr, and now we've actually got a pretty strong front line and a 2-star Kha'Zix, who's actually, in my opinion, a stronger attacker than Olaf. And since now we have 3-star Udyr to kind of take a lot of hits, I think we're going to put in the Kha'Zix to kind of get a lot of damage. This person had a Varus and an Ashe. We were able to take out them pretty easily. All thanks to that Kha'Zix. Now we're going to grab a chainmail vest in the carousel and try and set up some defense on our Udyr maybe, while Set's doing a lot of the damage. Leveling up as well, being able to put in our Olaf, who we still have on our bench, and then settling our econ at 10 just for that 1 coin a turn. And we're doing pretty well. We have a win streak that's earning us money. We have Draconic, which is earning us money, and then now we also have our econ that's getting us money. So in this kind of a build, it's okay to keep on leveling. We're not focusing on weak units, 1-cost units. We're not focusing on getting our money to 50 instantly. We're focusing on mostly trying to just build a strong team, as well as we're kind of making up for our econ being low by having Draconic. I'm supplementing our income. Draconic's going to be our passive income stream. Abomination's pretty good early on, so the fact that we take this out pretty easily shows just how good of a start we have and just pretty powerful. It feels good because you know it sucks to get trounced by an Abomination early on. And yeah, it's only 2-6, so there's a lot of room for this to turn around. All right, Krugs give us a tier, and I had Kennen in for a short while just to get the skirmisher bonus over having 1 assassin, but our attackers really aren't Udyr and Olaf skirmishers, so it's really not important, and it doesn't add to their defense really. So I put back in the bug. All right, I level up to 6 here just to put Zyra on the board, just trying to help keep our win streak going. And an extra unit on the board is always going to help. So you just want to be careful. You never know exactly who you're going to go up against next, especially early stages where everyone's still in the game. You can't really deduce who you're going to be up against next. So you just kind of want to stay solid and able to take out as many people as possible. It's kind of the idea. Now this guy slammed a whole bunch of items on his Yasuo, which is you put a Guardian Angel on a Yasuo, he's pretty great tanky earlier on, but I feel like later on he falls off. Your units only can really hold 3 items. So normally on a Yasuo you want a Rage Blade, maybe you want a rapid fire cannon, and then you want something else like a jeweled gauntlet, which gives you crit damage, or maybe just something else, another damage item or a speed item, maybe a Runon's Hurricane, just something to give him a little bit more casting ability, or a Radiant Blue buff. Radiant Blue buff has been really good on Yasuo lately, so that's just something you have to balance. Maybe if you're going to get rid of the Yasuo later, like you're not going to run a Yasuo build, then you can do it, but I wouldn't leave it on him for a long time. And for third carousel, we're going to go for the bow, and that is because I'm almost always wanting to make a Rage Blade. Rageblade. My two normal mains are normally Aphelios and or Draven, and both of them really do well with Rageblades, so it's kind of a default I go to, especially when I don't really exactly know what I'm going with my comp. I try and fall back to those. For our first Radiant item, we go for the Morellonomicon. Could have gone for Bloodthirster, but I really didn't know who our attacker was going to be, whether Draven or Aphelios, and I don't know, I really don't go Bloodthirster on Aphelios much. So having this Hecarim on my bench, I decided I was going to put the Morellonomicon, which ruins their healing. It destroys their healing for a while. It does 120% of the target's maximum health over 30 seconds. Now, it is a long time. It's not going to be the thing that kills them, but it's kind of like having a Sunfire Cape, but then also ruining the enemy's healing. So that's why I put him on him. And luckily, we instantly had 2 more Hecarims in the shop. I didn't know that, but it worked out pretty well. So that's cool. So Hecarim is now going to be our major tank for this game, and Draconic just making us loads of cash. So here at 3-7, we're level 7 with 60 income and a pretty solid board state. We're still in second place, so we're really strong, full econ. And here we go up against an okay Aphelios player. He's got a decent setup, having 3 Cavalier on the front end. It just is a shame that they're all 1 stars except for the Kled, but even Kled's not really a tank. He instantly loses aggro after he loses his first shield, so it's not set up extremely well. 2 Rage Blades also on an Aphelios. Like, yeah, that's going to do a lot well. He's going to cast a lot, but the second that he starts casting, they're not doing that much damage because he doesn't have any ability power really stacked onto him. So we easily beat this, but we are going to steal this idea of Cavalier as a front line. We're actually going to steal the Aphelios idea too. We kind of just take this guy's comp and do it better because we're just rich, you know, and that's what rich people do. All right, now out of a Dragon Egg, we actually get a second Nikos. We're just sitting on 2 Nikos. No real need to use it yet. My plan is really I'm going to try and get a couple of our 4-cost units out and just really quickly get them all to 2-star. Probably not going to make it to any 3-star 4-cost units, so I'm just going to try and get 2 of them to 2-star really quick. All right, and then on 4-2, we grab a Spatula and decide to make a Cavalier bonus with this chain vest that's on our Udyr, giving us a damage reduction on both Udyr and Hecarim. In our 4th carousel, grabbing another chain vest. We're just going to put on Hecarim, get him to 20 armor, maybe make a stone plate if we get a Negatron cloak, which would honestly be our best option, is making the Negatron cloak. Maybe a Frozen Heart if necessary, but I don't know if it necessarily will. Also throwing in a Thresh and a Garen to get us Night bonus as well as Forgotten bonus. So here's actually a better setup for a Yasuo/Akshan build. You got the Deathblade on the Aphelios, a Rageblade and a Hands of Justice on the Akshan, and then a Radiant Deathblade on Jax. Personally, I wouldn't spread up my items this wide, especially 3 different attackers. Probably I would put this Radiant Rageblade on the Akshan. He's the one who's going to be out and about on the battlefield for longer, as well as you've got the Rageblade on him, so he's going to be attacking really fast and constantly. He also is going to be ruining people's armor, part of his passive. He could really be putting out a lot of damage, but you kind of nerfed him by not giving him any attack power and putting on this Jax, who's actually not going to do much, especially if you don't have a whole lot of skirmishers on your board. So I think that was a little mistake, but he does win. He does win. So, you know, you got to give it to him somewhere. I just personally felt like it could have been better. He could have destroyed me more. At this point, I decide that Aphelios is going to be my main attacker. Trying to get rid of all these items on set, so sadly we do have to sell them and put in a weaker set. But yeah, we got Spear Shojin, Runon's Tempest, and a Giant Slayer on my boy Aphelios. And the main idea here is he's going to be casting a whole lot, and that's because the Spear Shojin gives him extra mana every hit, and then the Runon's Tempest actually doubles that because he technically hits twice every time he shoots. So he's going to be casting a whole lot constantly from the very beginning of the fight. Doesn't have any speed bonus right now other than 2 Ranger. But I think having 80 plus speed almost 4 seconds into a combat, but doing like twice as much damage constantly, I think that's going to be good for us. We managed to get an Akshan out of the store, and now we've got 3 Cavaliers and a Cavalier Spatula. So as soon as we throw this on the board, we are our front line is just going to be really hard to hit. For our second Radiant item, there's actually another more Morellonomicon, but no, we're going to go for the Sunfire Cape, just for an extra take item on our Hecarim, while also getting out our 4 Cavalier. All right, we take a Hand of Justice. That's going to be an item for our Akshan, replacing our Ashe. And then we're going to Nego Akshan and Aphelios, getting 2 really powerful ranged units on the board at the same time. Akshan going to shred the enemy's armor, and Aphelios trying to come in with the kill with his cast and his damage. Here we are again against double Rageblade Aphelios, coming back to use his own comp against him, and we absolutely wipe the floor with him, absolutely destroy him, and it feels good. And here I level up to 9, throwing in a Galio to get us back our Draconic, as well as a Knight bonus. 4 Cavalier and 2 Knight, really making Hecarim a tanky boy, Rel a tanky girl, and we're actually back against that Jax that unexpectedly killed us earlier, who now has a Rageblade and a Cavalier bonus as well. But because we set up our Aphelios better and just have really good defense with our Knight and our Cavaliers, we easily wipe the floor with them. Like, most of our team's still on the board. One of the things I like about this patch is that it's the 5th carousel and most people are still in the match. There's 6 people left. And I really like that you can be in 6th place at 5-4 and still kind of have a chance. It makes it kind of rough because in previous patches, you got a really strong comp early on. You can knock a lot of people out really easily. I feel like that this patch has made it a lot easier to really come back and take charge, which I think makes it feel more balanced. I don't know if that's true. It definitely has made the game a little bit more difficult, but I don't know. I enjoy it. I like it. It feels good. We do get a Hands of Justice and decide to actually throw 2 on Akshan. He's just a healy, punchy boy. He really likes his justice, okay? I mean, but there's no one really else to put it on. Those are our 2 attackers, and I'm not about to try and remake this Aphelios this late in the game. There are a lot of other strong board states, and this was the Abomination player from the early game who now has a Vel'Koz that is absolutely terrifying, super strong. Just kills us, honestly. All right, and here I actually decided to throw in my Viego, knowing that the 2 comps remaining have really strong backlines that do a lot of damage to my front. Sadly, we do have a really slow Aphelios, which got us to this point and was actually really strong. But we're going to need something to disrupt that backline for a while so Aphelios gets the ability to attack them in the first place. So I decided to get rid of my Thresh and instead throw in Viego. Dragon gives us a Banshee's Claw, and we also buy a 2-star Galio. And I put the Banshee's Claw on Viego. And honestly, I could not tell you why I did this. I think the idea was that so he can get to the back line and he won't get like stunned by a pike or basically just instantly like paused, so he actually does get the ability to disrupt. And in retrospect, I'm actually thinking Diana probably would have been a better person to send. Her ult mixing around the back line rather than basically holding on to 1 unit, I feel like actually would have been better. But sadly, I did go with Viego, and we cannot fix the pass as much as we really want to. Swapping out of Draconic, I also throw in a Volley Bear just to get Brawler as well as a little bit of a disruption. And who doesn't feel good buying gold units? All right, and we're below 40, so we get our stimulus check, which gives us a tier as well as a chainmail vest, which we're just going to put on Hecarim to make a bramble vest, and the tier on Akshan to make a archangel staff. You don't really get item components after this point. We just happen to get them because of our stimulus check, but we're not going to get them anymore, so there's no point not making items, even if they're not that great on a unit. It's better than nothing or wasting the items entirely. And now we're mostly rolling to get our 2-star Viego, which we do almost instantly. All right, and our boy Viego is doing his job, distracting Vel'Koz, as well as the monstrosity long enough for Aphelios to come in and clean and do his work, you know? Clean up shop. Absolutely disgusting. All right, and I decided to trade out Volley Bear for a Jax just to give us that 3 Ironclad instead of the 2, giving us a little bit of more armor across the board. And I put the Cavalier bonus on him as well. Also, I know he's like a pretty good attacker. He's not really going to be our main one, but he normally does damage, so might as well make him a little faster. Again, not about to rebuild an Akshan or an Aphelios. An Aphelios doesn't want to be in your face anyways. All right, and we absolutely destroy this Jax team that was wrecking us earlier. And we're pretty nestled into the top 3 either way, no matter what's going to happen. Pretty much guaranteed to get at least 2nd place at this point. We'd have to do something really crazy in order to turn around the entire comp to beat us. I grab a Bramble Vest, hoping just to keep someone alive against that Vel'Koz. Bramble Vest goes on Galio, and we go hunting for that 2-star Jax, which we get. And honestly, nothing's really going to change about our comp for almost the rest of it. I'm going to fast forward to us having a win streak, Melon Soul having 3 health left on the battle. And he decides to move his Vel'Koz further into the corner, all the way to the left, and it absolutely destroys my team because Vel'Koz attacks the enemy nearest the center of the board, which, if your main attacker is opposite of the board of Vel'Koz, then he attacks all of your units at the same time, including our Aphelios. So Melon Soul had actually been nerfing himself this entire time and decided at the last moment to unleash his final form. Yeah, I try to move my Aphelios out of the way, but ultimately he just melts throughout my entire defensive team at the same time and is able to win. Of course, we end it telling him how well he did. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you found this video entertaining or helpful, consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you want to learn how to play Draven Legionnaire, one of the strongest comps in the game right now, feel free to click the video on the screen. Later. Peace.